Is there any questions?
Mr. Williams.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you,
Where you at?
up here.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I've been enjoying your work since I first got the first issue of Justice Post magazine. I probably got almost all the issues. I lived in Chicago at the time, and I'm an artist. And what I wanted to say is I really appreciate not only the level of your work, but all the different things that are in it, because a lot of people, like you say, have these different comments, but they're not really looking at what's going on in there and the thoughts that you're going on. I like your titles. The last thing I want to ask you is, I submitted some work to one of your representatives in Chicago, and I never heard anything from him. So I'm just going to take this occasion, now that I see you, to ask you, can I send some work to you, because I like the magazine, and I think what I do would be representative of what you're in.
Well, publicly, let me thank you for submitting your work, but in reality, you'd have to talk to me in private about what the chances are of getting in that magazine. You know? So just catch me later, and we'll discuss the the mechanics of getting in a publication, because everybody's trying to get in magazines. Is there another question? Yes.
Well, we know you said that what your art lab was having a name to it, and I guess lowbrow has been what the name was given, but now they're calling it newbrow.
Well, the thing has got so big, and hundreds of artists have joined this, and they don't have that outlaw edge that originally started with the lowbrow art. A name that they've kind of fallen for is pop surrealism. But the thing about pop surrealism was that's a name that was taken over 10 years ago at a show back east, and Kenny Scharf came up with that name. So they're kind of floundering with that name. Now, the name I go by, the art movement I go by, is conceptual realism, because conceptual realism is utilizing the possibility of an open-ended thought terrain. You know, you can protract in all kinds of directions if it's hypothetical. The thing, a lot of these young artists have jumped on the bandwagon, and I'll tell you what they've done. They really don't see much virtue in the old underground comics or the psychedelic posters, the questionable material. Questionable material scares them, and they want to make money. So they've kind of gotten under the wing, or they think they've gotten under the wing of pop art. Well, they're in for a big surprise, because the pop art world really ain't interested in hundreds and hundreds of illustrators hitting their door. Now, surrealism, they like the term surrealism because they can do kind of goofy stuff. But the surrealist movement was a very direct and defined movement by a certain bunch of people, and that thing died out after the Second World War, so dragging that in there is going to be hard to do. So the thing's kind of fragmented, and I'm kind of by myself again in a lot of respects. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. What's to be called newbrow now?
Well, in other words, there was no brow and new brow and low brow, and I know when to come up with low brow because it's the lowest common denominator. You can only go up from low. So you have the option of stepping on everybody's toes, the low brow. So is there any more? Yes.
I think your work is more like raised eyebrows.
Thank you. Yes.
I want to know how you treat imagery. Just what comes first, the theme, the idea, or you just start drawing and it starts coming in and being developed?
Well,
I know that's a dumb question.
My only problem with sleeping nights is how to get those checks to the mailbox. The way the ideas are originated is a whole different matter, and I'll be glad to try to wrestle with that for you. The first thing is to find a field of ideas, you have to avoid other people's ideas. Okay? So you have to find a frontier of goofy ideas, and you have to come up with a lot of bad ideas that you can, in later time, correlate with other bad ideas to make a good idea. The trick is not to do something that other people have done. So I've got a whole file of hundreds of bad ideas that didn't gel that I keep going back and through and see if there's any virtuosity in them to tie them in with some of my newer ideas. So it's just kind of like throwing a bunch of stuff up in the air and trying to catch it and see what you've got. Now it's got to have a rhythm to it. It just can't be a bunch of silverware that hit the floor. It's got to have something to it, you know? And so I go through lots of different, really stupid ideas to see if there's a poetry in there. If there's some kind of a virtuosity that I can tie in there. And if I start worrying about, well, what will people think, then I'm in trouble. I've gone right back to where the other artists are, you know? So I would rather stay on the grizzly edge of things where the firmament is rich than trying to figure out, well, what are the kids in Sunday school going to think about this? You know, I don't know. You know? Is there any more questions?
You said that your work exceeds decoration, but that it also used to decorate, I guess, some brave people's homes. Do you, socially brave people, do you see a better place to work besides someone's living room? Where do you, ideally, where do you want to
Well, it's nice to have an artwork in someone's home that appreciates it. The very best place that artwork can be is right here in this museum. I've got 6 paintings. Not so much because they officiate it or they endorse it, but because people have access to it.
Who has toddler therapy?
Pardon?
Who bought toddler therapy?
A husband and wife that have a beautiful home in Malibu. And in one of their prime rooms was toddler jerky. And they had an enormous party that cost thousands and thousands of dollars, and they would take their guests in there. I went to the party, and they took them and made them all look at toddler jerky. And one of the big gallery owners was there, and he was incensed. He went to me. I forget what he said. He said some real cold thing to me, and I told him, well, I try to be sensitive.